What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's massive breaking news, excuse me, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year, which is actually at the end of next month. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a Piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a collector's rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled out of my Genesis Impact box opening that I did several months back is a collector's rare B-Cop from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. You can easily tell the centering on the back is a bit off, but honestly, it really doesn't matter because honestly, this has PSA 10 potential. This has a potential to be a PSA 10, but with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which ironically enough ties with today's video, which is this. What are you guys' thoughts on NXT moving to the CW network next year? Let me know down in the comments below because, well, you guys heard it there. Breaking news. WWE has announced that its premier brand, NXT, will be headed to the CW network in October of next year as part of a 5-year deal. Now, one thing that I've learned is that NXT has had quite a few homes over the years. It was originally part of Sci-Fi when it was like season 1, season 2, season 3. You know those days of NXT. Then it moved over to WWE.com as part of their show NXT Redemption, if I remember correctly. And then it moved over to Hulu when it first became a brand, like literally a third brand in WWE. and then after that, it went straight to the WWE network. Excuse me, for quite some time, but it wasn't until right around the summer of 2019 where NXT had moved over to the USA Network, and it's been there ever, and it's been a part of the USA Network ever since, and now it's going to be a part of the CW. Ironically enough, I believe I believe this is actually only the second time, excuse me, that one of WWE's premier shows is going to be a part of the CW network. In fact, if I remember correctly, SmackDown was a part of the CW network. I want to say... I want to say right around like 2009, 2010, like somewhere around there. If I remember correctly, it's been such a long time, but I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. It's been quite some time, but ironically enough, the CW network's actually owned, or rather, it was actually acquired, if you will, by if I can find it. It was actually acquired by Next Star Media Group, which also owns MSN, the MSN news station, actually. And now they actually own the CW network. So one thing that interests me is some of the big questions that have been needed to be answered for quite some time. And one of the big questions is, will the CW network app feature live TV? As in, can you link your cable provider to the CW network app? And I checked it out myself yesterday just to be sure, and it doesn't look like you can, unless if they do an update to where you are allowed to. But I don't think so. But for some people, there are ways you can watch it without having to watch it on your cable box, and it's your cable provider's app. So for me and my family, since we have Dish Network, I can watch it on the Dish Anywhere app on my Fire Stick, which is pretty convenient because my cable remotes don't work anymore for some reason. But anyway, that's completely irrelevant. But there are a lot of other questions that need to be answered. And another one of the big questions is, what will NXT look like once we get to October of next year? Who will be the NXT champion by then? Will we see some of the current NXT stars get called up to the main roster? What's it gonna look like? We don't know. However, the president of the CW network, Dennis Miller, said that NXT will play an integral role in the company's continued expansion into live sporting events. He said, quote, NXT is a perfect fit for the CW thanks to its dynamic young talent featuring the hottest rising stars in the sport and exhilarating, unpredictable weekly events. The passion and engagement of WWE's fan base is unmatched, and we are eager to grow that audience as WWE NXT's new home on broadcast TV. So funny enough, for those who have never watched NXT, which I'm pretty sure everyone has watched NXT, it became a sort of like a developmental brand, if you will, for both Raw and SmackDown. And ironically enough, 90% of of last year's WrestleMania were actually developed under the NXT banner. Guys like Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, guys like Santos Escobar, women like Zelina Vega, women like Bayley, women like Bianca Belair, guys like the Street Profits, guys like I need another good example. Guys like Apollo Crews, guys like Xavier Woods, guys like Big E, all these guys, were a part of NXT, and honestly, I think this will be an interesting time for WWE because by October of next year, we could potentially see a new undisputed Universal Champion after 4 years. It's possible, but only time will tell. And for those who don't know, Nick Khan, the WWE president, said this. He said, quote, "The CW has made impressive moves over the past year with its live sports programming schedule. It's a truly exciting opportunity to expand NXT's audience by bringing the show to broadcast TV for the first time in NXT's history." Now, with that being said, the question becomes, what time will it actually air? Will it air at 5 p.m.? Or will it air at another time? No one knows. No one knows what time it'll air. And that's something that bugs me. No one knows what time it's going to air or anything else. No one even knows if NXT will be going on the road for weekly shows, to expand their audience, if you will. But even though it's a year, even though that's a year away, this is something to definitely talk about, because as of right now, WWE, not WWE, the CW is currently continuing to expand into sports broadcasting, recently inking deals with the NCAA Atlantic Coast Conference for college football and basketball games, and also hosts Inside the NFL, and they'll also broadcast NASCAR Xfinity Series races beginning in 2025. So 2 years from now, NASCAR will be a part of the CW, which honestly is pretty awesome, because when it comes to racing sports, if you will, NASCAR is like top link in that food chain, and one of the most iconic racers in the world is obviously Dale Earnhardt Jr., one of the biggest names in NASCAR history, and it'll all be a part of the CW. I will say this: it's a bit of an interesting move, if you will, because in my honest opinion, I feel like NXT should have stayed with USA, and the reason why I say that is because the USA Network has always brought in more and more new shows, if you will, and it's not just USA Network, it's NBC Universal all together, because NBC Universal owns the USA Network, so to speak. So if they're bringing in new shows, why wouldn't they why wouldn't they keep that momentum going with NXT? It doesn't make sense, but it will be an interesting a very interesting 5 years for NXT, because at this point we don't really know who exactly will be the NXT champion by then. We don't know who the NXT Women's Champion will be by then. For all we know, Thea Hale could be the NXT Women's Champion. Or for all we know, it could be Carmen Petrovich. Or it could be Lola Vice. For all we know, it could be Roxanne Perez. She could still be in NXT for all we know. But because that Roxanne Perez has done everything that there's to do in NXT in such a short period of time, she could be called up to the main roster potentially as early as the Raw after WrestleMania. It's possible, and it's the same thing with Braun Breaker. Braun is at the point now where there's nothing left for him to do. He's already a 2-time NXT champion. He held the NXT title for the latter part of almost a year. Literally almost a year before losing it to Carmelo Hayes earlier this year at Stand and Deliver. So it will be interesting. I know, and honestly, I'm actually kind of excited, but I'm a bit conflicted as well, because the CW Network app, it just shows, like, all it does, it just shows what shows they have. That's all it is. And some of their shows, they don't even have the whole series on there, like with the Women of Wrestling, with WoW, Women of Wrestling. I don't know how many seasons there's been, but I'm assuming it's more than just one season. So the CW has a lot to do in order to help make NXT what it is today, when it's on the USA Network, if that makes sense. honestly, there's really not much left to say about this. Except that this will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what NXT will look like once we get to that point next year in 2024. But with that being said, guys, I get that this was a relatively short video, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of breaking news and give my thoughts on it, which again, my thoughts, it's a bit weird, but it will be interesting to say the very least. But that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.